Welcome to Men at Work 365, the ultimate destination for African American men dedicated to intentional growth and collective success. Whether you are just starting your journey or are a seasoned professional, our daily content focuses on the essential pillars of self-development, financial discipline, and mental fortitude. Beyond just personal improvement, we are building a powerhouse community designed to bridge the gap between generations. We facilitate authentic networking, mentorship, and brotherhood to ensure that no man has to navigate his path alone. Join us as we exchange the tools, wisdom, and connections necessary to build legacies and thrive in every area of life. It's time to get to work. Are you ready to level up with the community?
Yo, there we go. I don't know what that was about, y'all. I had to switch phones. Issues in my audio. Let me see. Boom. I was up here running my fucking mouth. Y'all couldn't hear shit. Thank you, Tony. God damn. About 15 minutes in, talking like a motherfucker. Can't hear shit. So, now I gotta say all that shit over again. God damn. Halfway through the fucking lesson. Okay. So, what is a trust? A trust, as I like to call, is the Holy Trinity, right? You have the grantor, who is also known as, right, the settler or the trustor. Then you have the trustee, right? The trustee holds and manages assets for benefit. Then the third location, to complete the trust, you have the beneficiary or beneficiaries, right? And these are the people who receives distributions from the trust, equity from the assets, whatever, however you set your trust up, right? Now, um, it's not on this graph, but I do want to put that out there that a trustee, a grantor can be a beneficiary, but a grantor can't be a trustee, right? And a trustee can't be a grantor. So different ways you can set your trust up, right, to where it works better for you, right? Oh, hold on, let me take this off so y'all can see the whole thing. Boom, okay. What was that? Okay, trust. I called it the Holy Trinity, right? Now, if you look down at the bottom, right, it has the definition of what a trust is. A trust is a legal to your left, bottom left. A trust, I'm sorry, a legal arrangement where a grantor gives a trustee authority over assets to manage for a beneficiary. Read that one more time. It's the definition of a trust. It is a legal, not lawful, legal arrangement. What is an arrangement? A contract, an agreement. That's what a trust is. It's nothing more than an arrangement, an agreement, a contract where a grantor, also known as what? A settler or a trustor, gives a trustee authority over assets to manage for beneficiaries or beneficiary. So all the power that's bestowed to the trustee is granted to them by the grantor. That's why they call it a grantor. So the grantor, right, is the orchestrator of all this. So they have the say so on whether anything gets changed, anything gets amended with the grantor. Trustee don't have that authority. Their job is to just make sure that they do the grantor's bidding. Whatever's in that contract, whatever's in that agreement, the trustee's job is to make sure it happens. And the beneficiaries just they benefit from it. That's why they call beneficiaries. We don't have to do shit. We just stay alive and we benefit. Right? All right. Uh Now at the bottom, all the way at the bottom. These are some of the benefits that come, right, with having a trust set up. Excuse me. It avoids probate. Now, I'm happy that I didn't set this up for that to be the first the first benefit, right? But in my opinion, it's one of the biggest, right? If anybody has been through um, the painstaking journey or process of burying a loved one, right? Burying a family member, right? Um, the casket, the funeral, all the food, the fly, all the shit you got to go through, the people you got to call, the shit you got to set up while grieving, right? It's very stressful, it's very chaotic, and it's very hectic, right? Especially if they didn't have life insurance, right? Or they didn't have a trust set up. You can actually fund your trust with life insurance. Your life insurance policy, you can actually put into a trust, right? And fund your trust through that life insurance policy. But that's another conversation. I'm just trying to teach you about trust today and the importance of them. But the first one is avoids probate. So instead of you having to fight for your inheritance, right? To fight the state for what rightfully belongs to you, right? Because your parents or your loved one, your family member didn't correct their status, right? And was still in law were considered wards of the state. Because that's what happened when you were born. If you have a birth certificate and social, the state considers you a ward. I don't give a fuck if you're 100. I don't give a fuck if you're 10. That's why on your birth certificate, your certificate of live birth, they have your mother listed as not the mom, not the mother, but the informant. Yes, your mother is a snitch, and so is mine. But it's out of ignorance because they didn't know none of this shit. All this shit that I'm teaching y'all now, I promise you, your parents don't know it. Because if they knew it, you would know it. We've all heard the term trust fund baby, but we think you have to be rich and wealthy to be a trust fund baby. No, you don't have to be rich and wealthy, but you do have to be competent, which most of us aren't. J Bo, salute, salute. Yeah, Tony, I was up here going the fuck off for like 15 minutes straight, bro. And I'm like, damn, good thing you said something. I'd probably did the whole did the whole damn live in silence. I don't know. The phone I normally use, I don't know if I need to update it. I don't know. These iPhones be tripping, but I had to switch phones. So anyway, it's working. Y'all gotta bear with me though, cause this screen, my other phone, the Pro Max, and I ain't got my glasses, so I'm squinting here to read this shit. But let me run through this because, like I said, I had already went over half of this. So, avoids probate. Having a trust. What does this do for you? The benefits. Avoids probate, right? So instead of you having to fight the state, you get a percentage of your inheritance. Um, them taxing the estate or the assets, right? That this loved one owned or was claiming. Because really, what it is that if you don't correct your status when you pass, since you are a ward of the state, whatever things that you think that you own or you have is really state property. This is why they can commandeer your vehicle. This is why they can come to your home and seize property assets. They could take you, right? Because you're a ward of the state and you never corrected your status. All right. Asset protection. That's the next one, right? So that kind of still goes with avoiding probate because it's still protecting your assets, right? Um, and these are assets that are coming to you through inheritance. So let's say mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever, they passed, right? And they left something for each one of their grandchildren, right? Their children and their great grandchildren. Well, their children, their grandchildren, and their great grandchildren, right? And y'all got to split that up, whatever it may be. It could be property, it could be real estate, whatever, right? Insurance policy, whatever. Y'all got it. That's your inheritance. So, but they're also assets. So to protect the assets, that's why you set up the trust, right? Another benefit is tax planning, right? This is what the rich and wealthy do. The only people that like, because it's not about, everybody wants to think your level of competency is based off of is symbiotic to, you know, your lifestyle or your tax bracket. No, because I know some people that are fucking morons, pure fucking, they're retarded and they're wealthy, they're rich. And I know some fucking geniuses who live in the fucking projects. So your competency has nothing to do, right, with status. That's bullshit. That's social programming that was put on us, right? Um, oh shit, what's good, quick? I want y'all to take the time. Everyone go to the chat. This is a prime example of what I was just talking, literally what I just said. Look at the comment that they chose to put, and this is off I'm pretty sure this is Generation X. I'm up here talking about trust law, something I know they know nothing about. Instead of trying to learn something, talking nonsense. But this is my point. This is our future, y'all. This is our future. They have no clue. They don't even know. Not only does he not know what a trust is, he doesn't care. Did y'all hear what I just said? Not only does this motherfucker not know what a trust is, they don't care. They don't give a. This is the generation that's gonna destroy it all. You know why? Because they don't give a fuck about nothing. They are the most base, carnal, reptilian brain ass generation that we have ever seen, and it's our fault. It's our fault. They can't read. They can't write. They can't add or subtract. They can't multiply. They can't divide. They lack social skills. These motherfuckers will call and text you and you're 10 feet away from them. And they think that that's not weird. They're cooked. It's up to us, Gen X, the millennials. It's up to us to save this shit. Because the ones that came before us, they're still stuck in the matrix. Racism, uh, religion, politics, they still believe in all this old bullshit, all the lies. They still holding on to it. Then you got the youngest generation. They don't give a fuck about nothing. But TikTok, dancing, smoking, fucking, money, just stupid shit. The metaverse, they gone. They in the metaverse. The Matrix has them. So it's up to us. This topic that I'm discussing today is more important than any fucking thing that y'all can be watching on TV, social media, any of that shit. Because this is information that if you apply it to your fucking life, I guarantee you will be better off. I want you to prove my point. I want somebody to go and look up how many wealthy uh foreigners or Americans that exist that do not have a trust set up. Foreign or domestic. They don't exist. There is no wealthy, it might have some rich people, but there's no one on this planet who is wealthy that does not have a trust. Most of the families that we sit up and talk about, you want to call them Illuminati, the Council of 300, the Council of Foreign Relations, The Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all these motherfuckers, the DuPonts, all of them have set up trusts. Most of them have the wealth that they have through life insurance policies. They take life insurance policies out on every single fucking family member. That means every time somebody passes, everybody get a check. Hell, we need some money. We fucked up. We needed 1.5 real quick. We'll knock grandma off and we get to 1.5 and we keep this show moving. And grandma's okay with it because grandma knows the ultimate plan. It's world domination. And they've accomplished it by working together. So while we sitting around talking about Cardi B, talking about what the fuck this motherfucker say? Homosexual, gay shit, whatever the fuck, right? All this stupid, dumb shit, right? That means nothing. That holds no value. That's not going to add any value to your fucking life. These are the type of things that motherfuckers want to concern themselves with. But shit of importance that really has value and meaning and will benefit you in your life, we run from that shit. We don't want to hear it. Because most of us are fucking children. That's why I talk to people the way that I do. Because I can't talk to most motherfuckers like a competent adult because they not. And then they get offended. Because they feel like oh, he using big words. He trying to make me look stupid. No, you've already done that. You've already accomplished making yourself look like a fucking idiot. I'm trying to teach you so you don't do it again. Real shit, quick. This shit is stupid. Do you see what the comment this motherfucker left? And I know this is somebody off because I do. Um, you have a lot of people that's on TikTok lives, right? And they just be scrolling, and my shit'll pop up, and then they just come in just saying dumb shit, trying to get attention. This is the product of fatherless homes. This is the product of weak, effeminate men, right? Running society. This is the product of feminism. This is the product of all the bullshit that we've been seeing and been subscribing to over the years. This is the product of that. This is what you call projection. I have never said or done anything that should make anyone assume or even be concerned with my sexual orientation. So if the first thing out of your mouth coming in somebody's live is this bullshit, for one, I know you're childish. For two, I know you're incompetent. And for three, I'm pretty sure you're the homosexual. Or maybe you're too scared to just come out and live that lifestyle. I don't know. But the topic today is not homosexuality. We talk about trust. What the fuck? Anyway, y'all, because I noticed like when it comes to the end, like all all of y'all that's been rocking with me, y'all come here to learn. Y'all trying to learn. So I know why y'all follow me. I know why y'all are entertained by my content. You see what I'm saying? Because we're like minded. We tired of the bullshit. We know that this shit is bullshit. We just trying to figure it the fuck out. The way the world is right now, men like us, we could take this shit over overnight. I'm just giving y'all the tools to do it and be successful. But that's the thing though, quick. It's like you can't rage bait me. Like, what is? First of all, I don't have rage to bait. Right, the rage that I have, I'm saving for the correct person. Like, just I actually feel sorry for motherfuckers like that. To be honest with you, because for you to be that fucking miserable that you take time, I have never in my life got on a person's live or got on a person's platform or anything and was just like, wow, they're getting more attention than me. Let me try to get some of this attention, right? And just say some random dumb shit. If anything, try to join the conversation to figure out what's going on, what's being spoken about, so you can make a competent, educated statement, right? To get the proper attention, right? Positive attention, which is gonna get you positive feedback. But these motherfuckers are just like they dumbass mothers and so desperate for attention right? That they don't know how to do that. They don't even care to do that. I'm just gonna say or do the most outlandish or just like craziest shit that I can think of to say or do. That's gonna get everybody's attention. Okay, cool. Now you have everybody's attention. Now what you gonna do with it? Everybody's looking at me. Oh, I don't know. You're gay. And then run away. It's like, what the fuck are you? But this is the mental state, right? This is where we at. This is where we at, y'all. But this is why trusts are important. Because that motherfucker definitely needs to be a beneficiary. Jesus fucking Christ. The motherfuckers like that must be taken care of. Now, asset protection, tax planning, what was that? Privacy. So when you have a trust, right? The trust um gives you privacy, right? Because the trust is private. You'll be taking all your assets, right? Your estate, your public estate, your public assets, and you're now making them private, right? But it's different it's different types of trust, but we're gonna get in that next on the next slide. They give some give you privacy, some don't. Now, specific instructions. This could be your last will and testament. This can be whatever, right? But basically, these are the instructions for the trustee on how to manage the trust, right? When it comes to the beneficiaries. Now, common types of trust. Now, these are not all the trusts that you can create, right? There's way more. These are just the common ones. These are the ones that mainly, if you out of let's say the year 2025, if you did a percentage, you looked up how many trusts were created, and out of those trusts, which were the most common or which were the most um, filed, right? But types, it's these nine. These are the most common trusts. First, you have the living trust, right? Uh, I gotta work with me because this shit's small as hell on this phone. I'm trying to see what they're saying. Brackets. I think that's the Latin word for it. Inter. It looked like the Latin word for living trust. But yeah. So you have a living trust, right? Which is created during your lifetime, can be revocable or irrevocable. Okay, so those are two trusts in one, right? Well, two options, because you can have a living trust, or I'm sorry, you can, in the living trust, it can be revocable or non-revocable. Non-revocable is self-explanatory. It means one is laid down, that's the law. You can't change anything, you can't go back. No. Then you have revocable, which means that you can make amendments. Yeah, fuck them, Tony. I like when they do stuff like that, Tony, because it gives me an opportunity. It's like they be proving my point. It's like literally, I had just made it. I forgot what I said, but I had just made a statement about some shit like that, and then the motherfucker just out of nowhere just just prove up. I'm just happy this shit is recorded because it's like motherfucker probably you sent them. I ain't sent that motherfucker. I don't know who the fuck that was. That shit was real time. Um, right. So you have revocable and irrevocable living trust, right? Um, so depending on your lifestyle, depending on your assets, how you want to set up asset protection, just depend. This is why I say all this is needed to be studied because you need to figure out exactly how you need to set your estate up, your estate plan up, right, to fully benefit you and your family, your loved ones, right? Some people might need, a living trust might be perfect for you. Some it might not. You might need a different type of trust, right? You might got a lot of guns. You might be, you know what I'm saying? You might be gun crazy. You a gun guy. You got 3, 4 gun safes. You got 50, 60, almost $100,000 worth of guns, right? Those are assets. They need to be protected. So you need to get a gun trust, right? So, but that's a whole because they only got gun trust on here. But like I said, it's different types of trust. So living trust, all right, was number two, testamentary trust, right? This is created through a will. becomes effective only after death. Now, this is something that is important, y'all, because my people, we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I bet they do block you all the time, Tony. I bet they do. um, damn, what was that? Okay, testamentary trust. So what's the root word in that? Testament, right? Your last will and testament. So this is also a form of a trust, right? Um, and this is what most of us are used to, especially in the so-called black community, right? Oh, I'm gonna write it down in my will. Okay, well, that's just one part of it, right? Um, they usually don't, even with that, if it's not filed correctly, if it's not structured correctly, right? Um, it can still go. Usually, when a person just has a will, it usually ends up the family members or the heirs still usually end up in probate court, right? Trying to fight for their inheritance. So that's why I said you need to learn the correct structure and the correct trust that you need to set up for you, so you don't have to deal with the state. The state shouldn't have no involvement in your personal life. Period. If they do, your status ain't corrected. You're still uh, 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 you're still a ward of the state, because that's the only thing that can give them jurisdiction. All this shit is contractual. Everything is contractual. Now, three, a revocable trust, right? What is a revocable trust? Grantor can change or cancel trust terms while alive. So when you revoke something, right? See, you're vocalizing it, right? Vocally, and you can also revoke it. So I can say today, oh, okay, when I pass, everybody gets 100 grand. Motherfuckers piss me off. You know what I'm saying? Then a month from now, you know what? Fuck y'all. Everybody get 20,000, and then whatever's left, you're gonna bury it with me. You can do that in a revocable trust. You can make changes, right? Now, number four, you have an irrevocable trust. Cannot be easily modified. Offers stronger asset protection and tax benefits. Irrevocable. That means it can't be changed. You can put whatever you want in that trust, quick. But like I said, it just depends on the assets that you're trying to protect. The whole point of a trust, because this is what our ancestors did, right? That's why it was so difficult for them to come over here and steal our land and steal our nationality and our birthright and our inheritance. And they had to do it through subversion, right? Trickery and contracts. Because what are contracts? Pieces of paper with words written on them, spells. And we signed to it. So we're a part of the conjure because we agreed to it. But you can put, if you got a car, quick, let's say you got an old school, right? Um, because this is how you build generational wealth. This is the whole point of me wanting to do this live. Havoc, what's good? Salute. This is the whole point, quick, of me wanting to do this live. Because, all right, for instance, quick, let's say you got a old school that's been in your fucking family. I ain't gonna say an old school, because that's a easy asset. Let's say a business, right? Let's say your quick, let's say your grandfather. Yeah, I'm gonna say grandfather. Your grandfather started I don't know, a tire shop or a restaurant. Let's say a restaurant, right? Um, he was the first generation. He established it. He registered it. He scaled it. He put all the fucking work in, right? Then your father, he inherited. Excuse me. He inherited the restaurant, right? He scaled it, right? So took what his father gave him, your grandfather gave him, right? He learned new shit. He modernized it. He got new machinery. He upgraded it. He get now you got more customers. He getting ads on TV. He getting oh he might got a sponsorship. Boom. So daddy done put in hella work in his lifetime. He done added to it, right? So now you inherit it. You get this business now, quick. So you the third generation. Your granddaddy built it. Your father scaled it. Now it's in your hands. What you gonna do with it? Now, what ends up happening is, let's say your generation, right, or the generation after you, because it's usually 3 to 4 generations, we fuck everything up. It's either gonna be you quick, or it's gonna be your son that's gonna fuck it all up for everybody because you're so far removed from the work and the structure and the discipline that and they gone, they deceased. So it's literally nobody that you really have to answer to. So it's all on you, and you have to have the self discipline, right? And the respect for your elders and your forefathers, right? Your ancestors that came before you and laid this foundation for you. You have to have enough love and respect for them to say, you know what, I would never sell this. I would never uh, 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 disrespect what they established for me, right? This gonna stay in the family forever because all the other nations do this shit. Quick, all the other nations they got trust. They got assets that family, what they call family heirlooms. Shit all the way back from the 1700s, 1800s and shit. Oh, General Custer gave me this. You know what I'm saying? And he passed it to his son and shit. Oh, General Custer gave grandpa and Meemaw this and that. Then they pass down to that and pass down. And they actually take pride in that shit and have an ownership of something that connects them to the past, connects them to their ancestors. We ain't got that in mass. Some of us do, but the most of us don't give a fuck. We ain't the ink ain't even dry on the goddamn paperwork. And our ass is out there trying to sell the shit. Don't go see your family members. Don't do shit for them. Then stuck them up in a nursing home and shit. They getting mistreated and shit. But then when they die, you the first one at the motherfucking. you you wait if you get there before the lawyer and shit. He pull it up. You already just sitting out front, hopping out the car and shit, ready to sign that paperwork. So how much I get, niggas? But anyway, but yeah, to answer your question quick, I hope that answered your question. I was rambling, but um a typical person, I don't know what you mean by typical. I would say like an average one of us, like an average, just a regular Joe Schmo. What would he put in the trust? All your assets, quick. Anything that you care about, anything that has value in your life. I don't give a fuck if it's a phone, a cell phone, a pair of Jordans, a fucking custom leather coat from some dead designer, a car, a house, a home, real estate, right, land, jewelry, right? These are all assets. These are things. An asset is nothing more than something that you own or that you maintain, right? That has value, especially if it appreciates, right? Meaning over time, the longer you hold it, the longer you have it, the more the value increases. It goes up over time. Now, if it decreases, that's not an asset. That's a liability. That's a whole nother topic for another day too. I can do a live on assets and liabilities as well. That's why I told y'all, you know, shit, that was about a year ago at this point. But a good book to read or to check out when it comes to asset protection, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about now, trust and um assets and liabilities is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think it's Kevin Trudeau. I think Kevin Trudeau is the, which I know that ain't his real fucking name because I think he Asian or some shit. But Kevin Trudeau, I think, is it Kevin Trudeau? I might be getting the name of the author wrong, y'all. But the name of the book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. And another a good game. I told y'all this before too. A good game to get, especially if you got a family and you trying to build your financial literacy and you want your family to be financially, get if you don't have it already, get the original Monopoly, not this new shit because they got all types of Monopoly now. done collaborations. They got all types of weird shit. Get the original Monopoly game, right? And play that motherfucker till you are an expert, because that is literally the game we play every day is Monopoly. Because you land on my property, you land on my hotel, what you got to you got to pay me. You land on my railroad, what you got to do? You got to pay me. Anywhere you go on that board where you don't own anything, you're getting taxed. And that's what it is in real life. Because you don't own shit, everywhere you go, you're getting taxed. Ownership is the key. That's what a monopoly is. That's what the word monopoly means. I have no competition. Who can be my competition when I own everything? That's a monopoly. I own it all. There is no competition. I am my competition. Can't nobody compete with me because it ain't nobody to compete with me. Everybody pays me. Why? Because I own everything. You want to go out to eat? You have to go to one of my restaurants. You want to go see a movie? You have to go to one of my movie theaters. I don't give a fuck what name is on the top of the building. All of them are in holding companies that I control. That's a monopoly. And that's the goal of the game. To acquire all the assets, get all the money, and do what? Bankrupt everybody else. Because if I have all the money, guess what? Everybody else is broke. And if everybody else is broke and they have no money, then what must they do to survive? They gotta come work for me. So I ask you, who has the who runs the monopoly here in the US? Let me get back. Now, what was that? Irrevocable. Okay, I did irrevocable. Marital trust. Number 5. Like I said, bear with me, y'all. This shit's small. This benefits surviving spouse maximizes estate tax exemptions. Okay. So those are the benefits that come with having a marital trust, right? Which I don't encourage anyone to even get married. So I damn sure don't encourage it. But if you are married, right, and you have a loving relationship and everything's just perfect in Disneyland and all that, this could be an option for you, right? That could benefit you. Number 6, I'm gonna try to run through these. I got one more slide. Number 6, charitable remainder trust. It's called a CRT. Um, provides income to grantor, beneficiary, and then the remaining assets to charity. Right? Most people won't. Yeah. I'm trying to just run through them and then just focus on the ones that I know most of y'all, would benefit from. Let me see. 6 to 7. Charitable lead trust, which is basically just the reverse of the last trust. Provides income to charity first, then the remaining assets go to the beneficiaries. And number 8, you got a special needs trust, right? So if you got anybody, you got special needs family members, or a child maybe with Down syndrome, or I don't know, autism or Asperger's or something like that, right? This would be a good trust to look into. Um, Now, this trust provides for a disabled beneficiary without, I could think that's jeopardizing. I can't see government benefits. So basically, if you have a special needs family member or loved one, right? Um, Maybe you're responsible for, someone else responsible for, but you want to create a trust, um, they can still get benefits from the state and the federal government, even though they have a trust fund set up for them, right? And with this one also, you can actually set it up to where those state and federal benefits can be funneled through the trust for tax purposes. But I ain't gonna go into detail on that. But if you do have somebody special needs in your family, or a child, or whatever, that's a good one to look into. Because a lot of people are already receiving benefits from the state, benefits from the federal government, right? But it's being taxed. So that's a good one to look into if you're in that predicament, that situation. The number 9 is asset protection trust. This was designed to shield assets from creditors and legal claims. Excuse me. So that's what. So I just explained what is a trust, right? All the parties involved in the trust contract, and the main or typical types of trust. Now you can look up trust, Google it, AI, whatever. Because there's more trust than this. Oh shit! Like I told you, they got gun trust, they got all types of trust, right? So it basically just depends on, um, like I said, fuck the types of trust. You need to figure out what you have that you want to protect, right? What are the assets that you're trying to protect, or that you want to protect, or you want to keep in the family, you want to pass down, you want to be a family heirloom or whatever. Like I said earlier, quick, like say you got a old school or something that your pops gave you, you wanted to stay in the family, you wanted to be a family heirloom. They can't sell it, right? You can put all of that in the trust. So they can try to sell it all they want, they can't, because it doesn't belong to them. You can basically make their ass what's called a usufruct, to where they can use the asset, but they'll never own the asset. The trust will always own the asset. This is how you set stuff up. So now, when you have ain't shit children, because I don't care how good of a parent you are, it's 50-50 chance that your child, just ain't gonna be shit. And you'll be dead and gone, and you done put all this work in, blood, tears, sleepless nights, sacrificing hours on hours, working your ass off to acquire these assets, right? So that your future generations can have a better life than you and the ones before you. And then your bitch ass son or daughter, with they selfish, worthless ass, just they want to get high, they want to whatever lifestyle they choose to live, they don't want to fund it themselves. So they use their inheritance. So to get around that, right, to make sure even in death that you're protected, this is what the trust is for. I done seen with my own eyes and my own family. Yeah, a will is cool, but motherfuckers can still finesse paperwork and do certain shit and still have their way, right? But if you structure your shit correctly, whatever that asset is that you want to be a family heirloom and you want to stay in the family, it will have to stay in the family. Let's see. I got one more slide for y'all to add. Okay. Now we can get to the breakdown of the domestic trust. Um, Hold on, I got a text message. Okay. Uh, oh shit. Excuse me. The difference between a domestic trust and a foreign trust. Let me try to run through this one. We already at an hour. I can see this one a little better. So I'm not gonna go through the whole thing because it is kind of a lot, and I know me, I'm gonna be wanting to break down and explain every little detail. So y'all can screenshot this shit if you need to. Um, but I'm gonna just go over the main uh differences between a domestic trust and a foreign trust, and why, in my opinion, a domestic trust is pointless. And this is why I set up a foreign trust. I don't have a domestic trust. Um, Now, and then the verbiage here, they trying to lean towards. I use AI to make this, so the verbiage they use kind of is like leaning towards trying to get you to fuck with the domestic trust over the foreign. But that's propaganda as well. They want you, because of course they want you under their jurisdiction. So of course they would say, get a domestic trust. Why would you get a foreign trust? Nah. Now, uh, domestic trust, court definition, and what's it say? IRS test. All right, so the domestic trust, the U.S. trust, court test. They got a check mark, says U.S. court has primary supervision, which means jurisdiction. Control test, U.S. persons, which we did on another live, last week, what is a person, a corporation, control, U.S. corporation control all substantial decisions. So basically a domestic trust is under U.S. jurisdiction, which means it can be taxed under that jurisdiction, and the laws and legalities under the U.S. basically govern that domestic trust. So you have no protections, basically. Now, if you go over to the foreign trust, fails either the court or control test. And you can look up IRC subsection 7701, A30, all that, right? But basically what it's saying is that what it should have said is it's outside of U.S. jurisdiction. See, I says fail, so it makes you think, fail, fail the court and the test. Yes, and that's what you want, which means what? What did they just tell you here? That's why I say verbiage is important, because it's all spells they're trying to cast. Without being competent in reading this first line up here, you would think, domestic trust seems better when it comes to, no, it doesn't. Because the whole purpose of you creating the trust is to have full control of your assets, right? Your property. So you want it to be foreign. Everything should be foreign. Anything dealing with you in the U.S. should be foreign. Your status should be foreign. Your assets should be foreign. Everything should be foreign. Because we thinking of U.S. as in the landmass. No, the U.S. is in a corporation, the United States Corporation, not the organic land, the USA. We talking about the U.S. Are you okay with Walmart being able to walk in your house and just take what the fuck they want? Are you okay with Walmart just being able to pull up and repo your fucking vehicle because they claim that it belongs to them? No. So when it says failed, that's what you want. Which means what? A foreign trust is outside of U.S. jurisdiction. Nobody can take your trust to court. Nobody can take, you see what I'm saying? It's foreign. Control test. That means the U.S. can't control your foreign trust. So that right there checks all. Foreign wins for that category, right? Now, jurisdiction and control. U.S. court jurisdiction, right? Domestic trust now. It's under the U.S. court jurisdiction, governed by U.S. state law, which we know ain't nothing but pedophiles, liars, and murderers and thieves. So that's who you want governing your shit, your assets, your trust. U.S. trustee must comply with orders. U.S. trustee must comply with orders. So if you have a domestic trust, that means your trustee is a U.S. citizen, which is what? A corporation, a person. And they have to comply with orders. So whatever a judge, magistrate, whatever, under that jurisdiction tells them to do, they have to do it, regardless if it goes against your will, right? Your trust, which you have set up in your trust. Is that what you want? Does that make sense? No. Now, the foreign trust is outside U.S. jurisdiction, governed by foreign law. Foreign trustee beyond U.S. court reach. So what is that telling you? Because this is what the foreigners do when they come over here. They have foreign trust. When's the last time you've been to court and seen an Asian in court? When's the last time you got locked up for anything, any offense, and you seen an East Indian in the cell with you, an Asian in the cell with you? When you ever did Fed time, state time, any time, and you seen these foreigners in these institutions? You don't. because they're not under U.S. And if you do see them, oh, I did. Somebody might say, oh, I seen an Asian guy. It was an Asian guy. They had a whole Asian gang. And okay, cool. Guess what? They're U.S. citizens. That's the difference. If you see a foreigner, right, in any penal system in the United States, they have relinquished their foreign connection to their original source, right? They've given up their citizenship. They didn't get dual citizenship, and they were not naturalized, right? And they took U.S. citizenship. So now they're under that jurisdiction and they're subjected to the same shit the rest of our dumbasses are that was born here. They got a birth certificate and a social too, even though they weren't born here. So that's the difference. So anybody, I know motherfuckers be quick to, well, I done seen the East Indian in jail. I done seen this or that. I done seen them in court. Well, that's because they have put themselves under this jurisdiction and they dumb as fuck. Outside U.S. jurisdiction, governed by foreign law, foreign trustee beyond U.S. court reach. That means they can't do nothing with you. So if they pull you over, hey, listen to what I'm saying, y'all. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. If your car, your vehicle that you own, you have the title to, as it has been try to use correct verbiage that I taught y'all. What was the word that we used? Conveyed, right? Into that trust. If they try to pull you over, right? You shouldn't even have a driver's license. Hand them your passport, because that's foreign jurisdiction. If you filled the application out, the passport application out correctly, right? Because you have the right to travel. You have the right to conveyance. So if I convey this vehicle into the trust, right? They can't do anything. They can't just lock me up, take me to jail, and impound my vehicle, because that's a lawsuit. Because that vehicle is foreign property. Why? Because it's under a foreign trust, which is outside of U.S. jurisdiction. So basically, my vehicle and me have what? Diplomatic immunity. You can't handle me any type of fucking way because I'm not one of your citizens. I'm not a corporation. This is why some people go to jail and some people go home. And those some people are usually foreigners because they know something that you don't know. You get talked to, you get treated the way you get treated because you are a slave in their system, under their jurisdiction. That's why they ask you, do you understand me? Do you understand what I'm telling you? And your dumb ass think he's asking you, do you comprehend what I'm saying? And that's couldn't be totally from the fucking truth. He's speaking legalese. He's asking you, do you stand under my jurisdiction? And what do I stupid ass to say? Yeah. You just gave him verbal consent. Now he can deal with you like like a chattel slave. He can handle you however he chooses to. This is why I say competency is important, because all of the issues that we go through, the literal reason we are in this position where we have foreign occupiers telling us what we should be doing and shouldn't be doing on our own land, right? Pretending to be us. And then when we find out who we are and start living like our ancestors and embracing our true culture and nationality, it's an issue. Because you can't pretend to be me if I'm being myself. If I choose to be who I truly am, not who you're trying to tell me I am, right? Now you can't pretend to be me because I'm being me. And you pretending to be me and me just being my natural self and us being in the same proximity, what is it going to cause? Everyone else is going to be able to see the fraud instantly. Instantly. Even if it's not the norm. I'm not used to seeing people that look like him dressing like that and conducting themselves in that way. But for some reason, it seems so natural. It seems so authentic. Because it is. Let me run through this. I'm getting off topic, y'all, but this shit be blowing me. Like, this is why I be angry all the fucking time, because it's like I said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We dumb as shit, and don't really. And the more I learned, the more I realized how stupid I was. Now, domestic trust go down to lower barrier for creditors, longer fraudulent transfer window, subject to U.S. judgments, right? So bankruptcy, lookbacks, full faith and credit, the chain or chair, like chain to other states, right? And then on the foreign side, high barrier for creditors, shorter fraudulent transfer window, 1 to 2 years versus domestic trust, which is 4 years. Foreign courts do not automatically recognize U.S. judgments. So you see the little red hand, stop to U.S. orders. So if any court rules, right, U.S. court rules against or passes a judgment on that foreign trust, there's no foreign entity that is obligated to acknowledge it. That's basically what this section right here is saying. The U.S., they have to do it because it's under the U.S. jurisdiction, right? Foreign jurisdiction, no. So that's more protection. Each layer is showing you why a foreign trust makes sense over domestic. Next, standard trust, tax returns, less complexity, right? And this is where it gets into being a minor and a major, right? A competent uh, adult in full majority, propria persona. Domestic trust versus foreign trust. So on the domestic side, basically you have less paperwork that you have to fill out when it comes to taxes, right? Standard trust, tax returns, less complexity, right? Only a few forms you got to fill out. Now, the foreign trust, extensive IRS reporting requirements, high complexity, and penalty risk. This is bullshit. I told you I got to peep the spells, the verbiage, the witchcraft, the games they try to play to try to push you from the foreign side to the domestic side. Extensive IRS reporting. I have never done extensive IRS reporting. And my trust has been set up since 2017. Now, is it more paperwork? Is it more filings? Yes. But so you're gonna, but think about that. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with the domestic trust because it's less paperwork. What? What? If the benefit of me having peace, knowing that can't nobody fuck with me or take my shit, the trade-off is like 5 extra documents that I gotta fill out that takes 3 to 5 minutes to fucking complete. Especially when you get in the habit of doing this shit monthly, yearly. Like this shit is you fill out paperwork all the fucking time. You fill out applications all the fucking time. And you get no money from it or no benefit from it. So because of a few extra forms that you got to fill out, I ain't fuck with it. I'm gonna just do the domestic. This is the trickery they try to do, y'all. Peep the verbiage. Now, taxed on worldwide income, taxed as a U.S. tax resident, generally tax neutral for grantor, right? That's on the domestic side. Now, on the foreign side, taxed only on U.S. source income, generally tax neutral for U.S. grantor, right? Foreign grantor trust rules. So, whatever jurisdiction that you have that trust in, that's what rules that trust, right? Is that jurisdiction's laws, right? But when it comes to taxes, it's only U.S. sourced income. So this is let me run through this all of it, and then I want to explain something why people have like offshore accounts and Swiss bank accounts and shit like that. If you haven't picked up on it already by what I just read. Last one is moderate, and this is domestic side, moderate initial and annual costs, right? To basically run or fund a domestic trust. And it's just example. Between 5K to 10K, right, to set it up, and then between 2K to 4K annually, right, to maintain it. Foreign trust. And these numbers are not, like I said, these are examples. Because I have a foreign trust and I paid nowhere near any of this, right? High initial and annual costs. This is all to get you to deter you from creating a foreign trust. Example. This is an example. 20K to 25K plus to set up the trust, the foreign trust, and 5K to 8K plus annually, right, to maintain the trust. And this includes foreign trustee fees. Um, that's bullshit. Now, it depends on your level of what you have in your trust, right? The value of your trust, what assets you have, how you set that foreign trust up, what nation, right? You have the trust. And it's a lot of different variables, right? So ultimately, you want to get the most, I always get this word wrong, but anonymity and the most protections, right, for the cheapest price. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck, right? And I always tell people this is how you decide. It's very simple because you don't want to put yourself, because it's trickery in this shit too. Because you can't just pick a foreign country and just think you good. No, it has to be a foreign country that's not in the Hague Convention. HAGUE, the Hague Convention, the Geneva Convention, right? You want a nation that is not a party to that. Basically, you want to fuck with a country that don't fuck with the U.S. That's what you're looking for. Jamaica, Taiwan, you know, etc. Now, I wanted to touch on, what was I about to? It was something on here I wanted to go. Oh, okay. So now we've heard over the year, for example, fuck that. Fuck everything I've said this whole fucking live. To prove my fucking point, right? Think about every spy movie you've ever seen. What's the number one spy movie everybody has? If you an 80s baby or back, you've seen this fucking movie a million fucking times, right? Either the old one with Sean Connery or the new one with the, I forgot the guy's name, little funny, bumpy face, weird looking dude, right? 007, right? 007. He's an agent. What is an agent? A representative for, I ain't even gonna get into that deep into it. I'm trying to stick to just with the trust part, right? Explain the trust part. And jurisdiction. Every spy has what? They have a safe deposit box or they got a safe somewhere. What do they always have in that safe? Usually a weapon, a firearm, right? A weapon and different identities for different jurisdictions, right? And they never have the same, they use, okay, like let's say 007 needs to go to Moscow, right? He's gonna have a passport and he's gonna have identification to get him into that jurisdiction. Once he's now entered that jurisdiction, he now gets another form of identity, right? That takes him out of it. So now if somebody in Moscow, right, let's say the Moscow police or whatever the Texas, if they get a hold of him, right, they check him with what he got on him, they're gonna run that information, right? And it's gonna show that he's foreign. So now we can't just deal with him as we would a person from Moscow because he's outside of our jurisdiction. Now treaty law takes effect because I have to, if whatever country he's from, we have treaties with this country, else he wouldn't be able to enter our country. But he didn't enter the country with another. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's all espionage. But we've watched this shit from a child, but we didn't pay attention to what the fuck they was really telling us. What are they really saying? You never want to be from where you are. That's why all these fucking foreigners come over here because there's more benefits right here, being foreign here than being an actual citizen. Because now you're dealing with treaty laws. I have to deal with you based off of the contracts or the agreements that my jurisdiction has with your jurisdiction. So I can't just handle you how I would a citizen of my jurisdiction because you're not a citizen of my jurisdiction. And I don't want a war to start over this little petty ass little situation, right? So I'm going to honor the treaty. Go get a vizier or a consul, right, from the consulate or whatever, and they will basically be your representative while you're in this jurisdiction. So whatever needs to happen, if you need to get a flight back home, whatever, they're gonna arrange all that. They're gonna handle that, right? That's why we have I call them outposts or little satellite operations all over the fucking world. They call them embassies, U.S. embassies. That's all it is. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm about to wrap this thing up, man. Put everything back up here. But hopefully somebody learned something. Um, but yeah, y'all, that's something that we definitely um we need to take more serious. We need to really look into, especially now with everything that's going on. It's a huge wealth transfer happening, right? Us in particular, we have nothing to worry about at all, at all. Things are gonna get a little sticky, a little rough, but then it's nothing that we ain't already been through and we ain't been living, right? We know how to survive. We know how to get through, right? We gonna be good. Revelation says, "I know thy poverty, but thou art rich, and I also know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan." Now, the last time I checked, there's only one group of people that worship in a synagogue, right? And they hated Jesus. And I'm gonna end it with that. Salute, salute, salute. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Fuck it with me, man. Hopefully, like I said, somebody learned something today, took away something, go look something up, study something, read something. Read something. I don't give a fuck if it's a magazine. Read something today. Read something. But yeah, man, y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, man. Keep your head on the swivel and watch out for the hook, as always, man. Because they throwing them left and right. They throwing hooks, they throwing uppercuts, they throwing overhand rights, they throwing haymakers, boy. They is trying to knock us out the motherfucking box. But it ain't gonna work. Because we not falling for it, y'all. We not falling for the bullshit no more. And I love it. I love it. I love it. That's probably a CIA agent that came in here earlier. You know, they be following me at every platform, every app I'm on, because I'm a threat. But they can't stop it because there's too many motherfuckers out here just like me. And a lot of them younger than me and know more than I know. They be teaching me shit. So it's over. It's over. The age of Aquarius is here. The age of information. Yeah, man. Y'all be safe. Enjoy your day. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.